Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn and I'm also known as the original runway diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. Today my guest lecturers are plus size models who are committed to living healthy lives and spreading that message to the world. Welcome Kalyea Moss and Vicky Poole to Model Behavior. Now I'm going to just clear it up. Only one of you is preaching the healthy lifestyle coaching thing, and that would be Kalyea.
Yes.
Vicky is also an actor and an artist and a gardening guru. We're going to leave it at that.
Yes.
But both of you guys I've worked with as plus models. So we'll start there.
Okay.
How did you get your start as a plus size model?
I got my start doing Fashion Week 10 years ago with Gwen DeVoe.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Were you in the first full figure Fashion Week?
No, I was, I won Full Figure Fit Model of the Year 2010. That was, yeah. But I didn't walk. No, I didn't walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you sound.
But this was before Full Figure Fashion
Right,
Week.
that's-
Yeah. 10 years ago, a long time ago.
That's when we were doing all
Yes,
the
yes.
local shows.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now you're signed with MSA.
I was signed with them. I was signed with MSA.
Are you
Yeah.
still modeling?
I do here and there. I'm really getting back into acting. I have a
Oh, you
lead.
act too?
Yeah, I do. I started out acting, and then I went into modeling, but modeling kind of picked up first, so I kind of put that to the side. So now that I'm a mom and I, put everything into my son, it's time for me to go back and follow my dreams and. So now I'm doing theater. That's my love, is theater.
Oh, welcome to my world, girl. Yeah,
Love
I know
theater.
all about that.
Yes.
Now, do you sing too?
I can if I have to.
You can't sing. Okay, Vicky. All right, Vicky. How long have you been modeling?
10 some years. About 10 years. I started in DC. That's originally where I'm from, and I started with the artist agency down there. And I remember when I submitted my photos, they were literally like pictures from my sister's wedding. But that's the thing. And literally a week later, I got a call, invited to come into the office. And right there, they signed me.
You know how lucky you are.
The next
Yes.
week, I met with the regional manager for Nordstrom's and booked my first show. And then after that, I was their go-to plus size models. I did all their fashion shows in the DC metropolitan areas. And then I walked for Macy's, Lord & Taylor, Saks.
And this is all while you were still in DC.
This is all while I was still in DC. And so runway was my strong suit. And because DC really wasn't that print market.
Right.
And New York, I would come up here for go-sees here and there. And finally, I made the move 7 years ago. Yeah, I made the move up here.
Was it a good choice?
It was. You
And
have
let
to
me just segue for a moment.
Sure.
Don't be sending your wedding photos to me to be cast for stuff, okay? That's a fluke. It don't usually work like that.
It was a
All right, let's
blessing
go.
all the same.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
No, but they just, I guess they wanted to kind of just see what the raw image. I mean, I would not recommend that, but I was very green at the time.
Yeah.
And literally the way, they invited me in, they saw me in person, they saw that I was proportioned. At that time, I was a size 22, 24.
Get out of here.
Yep, and then they wanted, for the runways shows at least, they wanted the larger girls. The clients, their buyers were real women. I mean, not real women in that sense, but they were those larger sizes. And they wanted to have that representation. So they didn't want a 14 when I was doing runways. They didn't want the 14s and the 16s. They wanted the 18s, the 20s, the 22s. And I was a 22, 24.
I would say the second year that we did Full Figure Fashion Week, that's when we had 22s and 24s on the runway because the designers that were in the show that year were requesting those sizes. But and that show was hugely popular just on the strength of us using bigger girls.
Yeah.
But as we have progressed,
Yes.
most designers don't ask for those larger sizes.
Think about that though. As we've progressed, as plus size industry has really broke through mainstream, the size has gotten smaller. And it's funny because I was literally I would be the only plus size model sometimes.
Technically, they haven't they aren't doing anything different than they did 20 years ago. Because back when I was doing stuff, I was always the only plus size girl too. And no matter if you were over a size 14, 16, they almost always ask you to drop weight.
Oh yes, I've heard
So
that
it's the
several
same
times.
foolishness that's going
Yeah.
on now. Or they'll take you at a 10. I don't know if they're still doing this now, but they'll take you an 8 or a 10 and they'll pad you up.
Yeah, no. And matter of fact, when I started, so I was I was getting booked all the time. I was their go-to for Nordstrom's, all the main department stores. I was their go-to for doing the runways. And again, it was the extreme. I was a 22, 24, and their straight size models were size 2s, and I'll be the only one. And then maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, I started losing weight and I dropped down to around a 16.
Now, what made you do that?
Health reasons. And then my mother, before she had passed, she had a mini stroke, and I was just kind of going through all
stress
that.
will make you
Yeah.
lose that weight or
Yeah.
either gain it.
Well, and just seeing, just with her health complications, it kind of made me want to start going back to your health,
we're gonna
healthy
segue
lifestyle.
there.
Yeah, but it was, but it was just like, I just had to do this for my own well-being, and the thing was, they would pad me up. They would pad me up,
Even at a 16.
at a 16, and yeah.
Which rather than go and get a model
model.
that's a size 16.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, these were clients that I was their go-to model. Like they would always request me like months in advance. They would always book me, for like Masuk, who's very popular designer, Japanese designer, and she actually was there for the fashion show, so she could do the presentation. And she saw me, and I've modeled for her before, and she was like, "Oh no, you're too small. You're too small."
Oh, this is after you lost the weight.
Yeah.
Did you lose a lot of gigs after you dropped the
No,
weight,
'cause
or was
my-
that when you
because-
decided to?
Well, and then maybe a couple years after that, I moved to New York.
Where you
And
needed
then I
to
was
be
right in that
yeah,
transition
Smaller.
where they wanted you to be smaller. But my clients, they knew I could walk, and they knew I knew how to sell the garments.
That is, the walking thing, people sleep on that all
Yeah.
day long.
No.
You may not ever use that skill, but it's a good one
To know,
to
that's
have.
right.
Yes.
Because the industry is changing so
Right.
fast.
Right.
You never know when, maybe they'll come up with a big show and they need all these models, but you
Right.
can't walk.
But here's the thing. You got to think about it. If I was the only plus size model then, and I was amongst all these straight size 2s, size 0s, and I mean, yeah, I used to deal with prejudice. I used to deal with, I felt like they were shaming me. And at the same time, I'm sitting there like, I'm getting paid the same amount of money you're getting, and I get to eat that nice food right over there.
Baby.
And let me tell you, but you know what? I proved it on the runway. And so you could try, what they say in Dirty Dancing, you can't put baby in the corner. That's right. So when it came to that runway, I would come out there and I would kill it every time.
And that's what it's all about.
And literally, I would come back, and the clients, they would like, I want exactly what she's wearing. And that's why I kept getting requested. Because the buyers wanted
I was the chick nobody ever wanted to follow me on the runway.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what it's,
So
that's
it
what
makes
it's
you
all
strong.
about.
Yeah. Like you feel like you're
have to have that
representing.
presence.
I'd be back to my little glass of champagne. I got one little black outfit. Okay. I'll be right here when y'all
one
finish
time
working.
they had dressing rooms for the models, and I was the only one. They literally had a rack with my clothes in a corner. And that was the one time I really felt like, wow. I mean, I felt discriminated
this is in
against.
DC?
This was in DC, and I mean,
I never had that experience here. I guess because we're in New York
In New
City,
York-
and it's we have a presence.
Right.
More of a
Yeah,
presence here.
and I used to do shows in DC as well. I used to travel back and forth. DC used to be hot on the fashion show tip
Yes.
for a long while, and then it just sort of fizzled out.
And that was good money. That was like every weekend.
Oh no, you ain't got to tell me about the money. That's why I wasn't in. This is why I wasn't upset about no rack in the corner.
I
Okay,
know.
this me.
I know, but
Okay.
it's like I've been walking. I've been doing these shows, getting requested, and this is like 2 years now. And I come into that, and these models have a room. They have dresses, and you
And I
threw
tuck
me in
my
a
big
corner.
behind right in the room, because that's how I get down.
Yeah.
Oh, there's room for me in here? I'm gonna bogart my way in,
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to, just like you have to
Yeah.
bogart your way into
and I'm gonna do
Right.
it
Yep.
with a pleasant attitude.
Oh yeah.
But
But see, that's the jewel right
Yeah,
there that
I'ma
I
be
took
happy
from
and
it.
smiling.
It's how you carry yourself. You connect because literally, they can look so pretty on the outside and they're so miserable on the inside. And so I remember I always wanted to make sure I carried myself a certain way. I carried myself with a certain dignity, a certain swagger, and then I put it all out on that runway. And that way they remember,
love the
like, who
runway.
is she? Yeah.
All right, now because you brought it up, it's a nice little segue. Kalyea, you are a
Yes.
certified holistic health and wellness coach. And you
Yes.
shared your weight loss journey on ABC World News with Diane Sawyer.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to start losing weight?
Well, I had lost weight getting into my modeling career. The first time I lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. I was about almost 260 when I first started. I was like almost at 18, 20.
I didn't know you then.
Yes, I was just coming down. I was coming down when I met you, and then I lost even more, and I went down to like a size 8. Then my career started taking off, but I had to gain the weight. Like you were saying, I had to pick up some weight. That's when I booked Baby Fat and Apple Bottom, and I was, doing their e-commerce sites, and then I got pregnant. And what happened was my son was diagnosed with sickle cell. So, and he was a preemie. So there was just so many things going on in my life, and I needed to get healthy, not just for myself, but for him. And to go back to school and learn how to take care of him, not just by giving him drugs and medication, but
Holistically.
And he's going to be 5 next month. He's never had a crisis.
Oh, God bless him.
Yes, he's I'm not going to say a vegetarian because he does eat fish, but he doesn't, I monitor
But
his,
the trick is the bad stuff is in the food. So I see. I could totally understand if you wanted him to be a vegetarian because there's all sorts of crap in the food and you
So
don't know
much.
what it's
What
causing.
GMOs alone.
yes,
Right.
and
You
the
don't-
fact
you
that
don't
they
know what
don't
it's
want us
causing.
to know what's in the food,
Speak
that they're
on it.
hiding certain
Yes.
things from us. So we wonder why young people are coming up with cancer and there's all of these illnesses and diseases, and I hate to say it, we're eating it.
Oh yeah, it's
Eating, we're
eating
drinking
and
it.
drinking
drinking
it.
And it's even in your cosmetics.
Yes.
Okay, now don't.
But it's,
Right,
it's,
Vicky?
But like,
because the
I mean,
skin is
it's
the
all
largest
about-
organ on your body,
yes,
so we do. That's why you
absolutely.
always say, I always remember, take the makeup off, because when your
That's
face
my
is
mantra.
beat, when your
Yeah.
face is beat, you get home
Right.
and you want to take the selfies and stuff like that.
And then
Like,
you
I
want to go to
no.
sleep with the makeup on.
Exactly.
Don't
and that's-
do that.
Don't, no,
The bacteria.
No.
Yeah,
of it.
don't
No.
go to
and
sleep in your
especially
makeup.
if you want to be a model in this industry.
It comes off.
This is your
Every
business
night.
card.
That's right.
Because
Yep.
you have to take care of this.
Yes.
And no client wants to spend a lot of money on editing for photoshopping.
That's right.
Say that
That's right.
again.
It is true. The clients, they do not want to spend a lot of money on having to edit and Photoshop
It is
when they
easier
do those beauty shots.
To get somebody whose skin isn't
Yeah. No.
messed up.
Yes.
Now, you studied holistic health at Integrative Nutrition.
Yeah, the
What is holistic health and what does it entail to do what it is you're doing?
Dealing with the whole with self. You have, for me, when I talk to clients, it's not just when people are overweight or they're just not feeling their best. It's not always sometimes what they're eating, it's what's eating them. So
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So I know for me, when I'm feeling a certain way and things in my life are not right, I eat, but that's not the cause. It's because there's other things going on inside. So I work with the person as far as getting to what's going on in your life. Are you happy in your relationships? Are you happy in your career? What's your spiritual connection? No matter what your religion is. So it's not just about the food. That's like secondary.
It's about
the
your
food.
mental health
It's
and
about your
spiritual wellness.
Yes, because if you're not feeling, when I was depressed and sad and really going through it, I was just eating and eating and just a mess. Spiraled out of control. My weight, I didn't feel good. Even though I love my curves. I don't want them to go anywhere, but I want to feel good though. I want to be able to walk up the stairs and be able to breathe.
See, that's where I am now. I'm at a place where I feel cute. I'm
Yes,
cute. I
you
know
are
that.
cute. Yes, you are cute.
But I don't feel good. And I want to feel healthy. I don't want to get winded walking up the same hill I walk up every day, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm tired now. What is this? So you have to listen to your body. But that in itself that's a journey.
Oh, it's been for me. It's been, you know what I mean? It's been a long journey. I mean, I'm still going through it. Just because I'm a health coach doesn't mean that I don't have my bad days. Doesn't mean that I know everything. I'm working my journey too. And it's beautiful to help other people walk through that journey as well. No matter what their goals are, we always set goals. What are your goals for the first 30 days? Then moving forward, you know, you have to take baby steps. I didn't gain the weight overnight, and
So
I'm
you're
not
not
going to
gonna
lose
lose it
it
all,
overnight. And I think we get into these fad diets, and even going into the industry, I felt like, oh my God, I'm too big. Then I got down like, oh, now I'm too small.
Yes.
It's like, well, where do I fit?
Well, you
and
lose
you
this.
have to, and you have, you know what? I want to be healthy, and whatever size that is for me, that's what size that is for me. And whatever opportunities come to me, they're going to come to me regardless.
Are you at your healthy size now?
I'm a 14, 16. I want to get back to when my weight before I had my son.
Which was?
I was about 165, 170. So I felt good at a size 10. That's where I felt good.
A 170 would put you at a 10?
165, 170, yeah.
Because of her height.
Ain't gonna be no 10 to me.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, but it's funny that you were saying, because I just
Because that's my goal weight is like a 14, and it's like 180.
Because
Right.
170,
Look at your height.
180.
So your
when I was
BMI.
Yeah, but it won't be no
yes,
10.
when I just did Dr. Oz, and the whole segment was about, just because it appears to be this way doesn't mean that it's this way. There were 5 different women, 5 different heights, 5 different weights, and they all had the same BMI.
Yeah.
Even when we did the one size fits all segment on Dr. Oz, and it was, you know, kind of mocking, how could you really have one size fits all? So
There's no such thing.
No such thing. When we put on some of the clothes looked good on me, some of them looked horrendous. And it was just saying, you know, to society, like, how could you put us in a box like this? How could you, you know, so just because you're tall and 170 for me, you know what I mean, is my goal weight, but for you, it's something completely different. And your height and your body mass, everything plays a part in
It's
that.
good stuff to know. All right, we're going to move to Vicky. Vicky is an actress.
Yes.
And she got some really, really good things happening that I'm going to let her talk about. So, word on the street is that you just recently was working with 50 Cent on Power.
Yes.
That's major.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Well, it's a blessing. Any opportunity, acting's my first love. It's always, I was starting with theater in DC. So that's kind of like, that's the basis down there. And so I got my foundation, and then coming up here, I was doing independent films, some commercials, and still doing like off-Broadway play. I just did a play in June. So I always
Can
kind
you tell
of,
me about that? I did an off-Broadway play too.
I'm sure I sent you an invite.
No, you didn't. But let's go on. Okay.
But you know, you always have to sharpen the craft. And, you know, and it's about the love of it. And honestly, as we were talking, like I used the modeling as a door opening for me with the acting. You know, it's all about getting exposure and get your face. You know, if you have the face, if I had the walk, you know. But my love and my first love is my acting. So, and moving into New York, it's like you have to find your niche and get in. But you can't forget what your passion is.
But the acting plays a big role in the modeling.
And it's true.
It's a very big role, and people don't understand that.
When you're working with clients, and if you're doing a shoot, you're doing catalog
You have
or
to
whatever.
become something.
You have to, because they don't want to see a dead face.
There you go.
They don't want
You
to
have
see that.
And don't be like
don't
me
be-
and have the person put some stuff on you that you absolutely hate.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And you still have to
you
sell it.
And you have to, and because I was, you know, Conway's plus size model, and there was some stuff that I was like, oh, goodness. But at the end of the day, I have a job, and that's the thing. Like I got past that the fantasy of, oh, modeling is so glamorous.
It is not.
At the end of the day, it's still a craft.
It is not
And
glamorous.
it's a craft, and you have to hone in on it. You have to practice. You have to practice your facial expressions. You have to, and that comes back to the
Take
acting.
some dancing. I always tell people to
Yes.
take some ballet lessons so you
Take
learn
acting
how your body
lessons,
moves.
some
And,
improv.
you know,
Even
you
some improv.
act.
Yeah, because you
I
have to
say
be,
this all the time,
you
and
have
it
to be
goes.
fluid.
They think that you just get in front of the camera and
No,
you just.
it just comes
no,
to you.
No.
And
There's
even
so
with, you
much
need to know
more
where your
to it.
light, you know, where the light hits you, what's your good angles.
And I learned that in theater. You know when you in the dark in the theater. If you don't feel light on your face,
Right.
you in the dark.
That's right.
And it's the same thing with modeling. If I tell you to come to the top of the runway, you stop at the mark and you walk past the mark, if you don't feel the light in your face, common sense would tell you to adjust.
Guess what?
And back
then
up
you're not
into
going
the
to get
light.
that image. And that image is the money.
That's
It's the money shot. And even with TV, and so the difference from theater to TV is that everything is amplified. You don't have to project. You can talk. You know, you are emoting with even silence. So all the subtleties. And when you're modeling, all those subtleties, the camera picks up on everything.
You gotta know what that
You know,
camera
so you-
is, too, especially
right.
in television.
And you got to learn how not to oversell it or not to undersell it, but that in between. If they
And it all
want
takes
sexy, if they want
it takes
commercial.
practice, yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight.
But you ain't funny. You ain't say nothing about your little role on Power.
Well,
You went right back to modeling. No, let's talk about what you did on Power.
I mean, with Power, I did a scene as a waitress. It was a quick scene, but I got to, work with 50 and the character Tommy on this season too. And yes, 2 cutie pies. And, and I got to serve some hot coffee and maybe allude to some hot coffee afterwards. So
all right now.
it was very, it was delicious. No, it was fun.
I bet it was. But Vicky, most people don't know that you were the first plus size model to do that H&M bikini ad. They give credit to the other person. Sorry, it wasn't you.
Yeah.
It's her.
Yeah.
She did it first.
That.
What was that experience like?
Okay. The H&M, well, during that time, my agent at the time, she had submitted, I had shot with Derek White, and I have to give credit to that photographer because he packaged that whole thing. And my agent at the time had submitted to H&M. And because it was a, for just as far as representation with me. And it was literally like overnight. Next thing I know, this ad was everywhere.
Everywhere.
I remember
and to the
seeing it
point,
on 34th Street. I
and
was
it
like,
was,
who is
no,
that?
to the point, and here was but here's the thing, and I'm glad I have this forum just to kind of speak on it a little bit, and I'm not going to take up too much time on it. And I know what H&M had to say about, let me tell you, they were using that ad on their billboards, they were using it on their stores.
Everywhere.
And to the point that their next campaign, they had the plus size model who's a size 12, she was doing, but it was kind of like bathing suits for all. It just happened to be a size 12, I guess that was their safe size, to model their bathing suits. That remember
See,
that
that's
next,
the
I know,
backlash thing I'm talking
but,
about.
But you know what though? From that, it was such a powerful statement that there were women, there were people from all over. I had people from Dubai, Paris, all over the world that knew about this, and they were so proud just to see somebody, not only a plus size woman who was confident wearing a bikini. That was my first time wearing a bikini and photo shooting in one. Let me tell you, because I had those issues growing up, and that's a whole nother story. So that was a proud moment for me in itself, but also a woman of color, somebody that can see themselves. And all the feedback that I received from people, it was just it was humbling.
We were so proud of
Yeah.
you. We was like, oh!
Yes.
It was.
And you get to say that you were first. They can say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
But you were first.
You know
Yeah.
that you did it
Yeah.
first.
And
you
that
broke
was
the
the
ground
thing.
on that.
And you notice the market after they started having plus size models with bikinis, tankinis. That was something that like you just
didn't see that before.
You didn't see that. And so and I mean for all the politics and everything else that's involved in it, all I can say is this, that H&M, they still use that image on their billboards. They used it on their posters.
Yes.
And you know what, if it got the idea across, if it could help, punch a hole in the wall of the fashion market, and let these retailers and these big brands know that, hello, you have buyership. And let me tell you, that plus size money, they're very loyal.
Yes.
And I mean, because then
This
all of
is
a
what
sudden
I don't understand why they don't get that.
Yeah, because did you notice that after the fact, the H&M, the plus size department got larger
Yeah.
and larger.
Well, they tried to shut it down at one point because the first time they did that B and B or big is better or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember when
I
H&M
remember that.
first opened up? All those clothes was navy blue, burgundy, black, brown, and white, and it was all loose fitting,
Right.
just it's really
No shade.
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah.
they wonder why it wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
Because we don't buy stuff we don't like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The stuff that's on the lower floor, the straight
Yes.
side stuff, that's what we want.
Right.
So how come you
still
can't make
wanna-
that bigger?
Right.
And then you
We
feel
want
like,
to be
well,
trendy.
I need to lose. Do I need to lose weight? You know, that's when those
That's
ideas,
right.
you know, start seeping in.
Right.
You know?
I have the dollars to buy your product. You have to service me the product.
Hello?
It's called capitalism. You know, and so it brought attention to that. And at the end of the day too, it made women proud. And if they knew the story, I mean, I remember being like 12, 13, thinking about committing suicide because I wasn't happy about my body and myself. And so to be here, you know what I'm saying, in a bikini, seeing worldwide and inspiring the next woman to say, love your body, you
Yeah.
know, that's something in
Beautiful.
itself.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we are almost out of time, but I want to get back to you real quick. Give me a couple healthy tips for the people that are watching, that are trying to get to a healthy spot. Not even lose weight, just healthy.
Water is your best friend. Our bodies are 75% water. We have to stay hydrated. Skin, for your skin, especially models, you have to drink plenty of water.
No fluoride.
Move.
As an
Move.
exercise.
Yes, do something. Find something. It's not easy. I just recently found out that I love the gym. I'm addicted. I am addicted to the gym. I would have never
see how
thought
I'm
that.
looking at you, right?
Yes, I would have never. But first, I just started walking on the boardwalk by the beach, and then it turned into running. Just get up, get out, move, water,
Okay.
sleep,
And smile.
And smile.
And smile.
Yeah, we are almost out of time. I'd like to thank my guests, Kalyea Moss and Vicky Poole, for sharing their industry knowledge with us today. This wasn't enough time. Y'all got to come back. Before I go, I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts. Remember that you can't change the game until you first learn the game. Always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. Do what you love and love what you do, and be who you are, but be who you are tastefully. Always have a little class about yourself. Now don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for watching Model Behavior, and I'll see y'all next week. Class is dismissed. Bye, y'all. So we just